Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. And today we're going to do some August 1st updates. And if you go back 2 months, you'll see I had a video on how to grow giant elephant ears. And I just wanted to show you, this is how big they got in 2 months. And they're still growing. And just look at the size of these leaves. And this is the latest leaf right here, still growing. And if you look right down here, there's another leaf. And I'm already getting little pups. So the trick was just keep watering them. They are getting some direct sun right here. So that's my first update. 2 months later. And as you can see, they're bigger than me. Look at the size of those leaves. Okay, now we're going to go to the next plant. I don't know, Steve. Next we have the philodendron ring of fire. And if you recall, this was about the size of a quarter. I bought a tissue culture. I found it on the internet, and it has 3 growth points, one over here and one over here, and the main growth in the center, and is already getting a half moon, and I got nice variegation and pink. So this could be a very expensive plant if I get a lot of these half moons. So I'm very happy with the success with the little tissue culture that I got. So when I first got it, I was like, wow, there's like a chance this might die, but very happy with that. And this was my 2-leaf cutting of my Thai Constellation that I got. And when I got it, it was just this leaf and this leaf over here. That leaf here, it was just these 2 leaves. And since then I got all of these new leaves, and I'm getting Swiss cheese already, fenestration. Now my latest leaf is a little bit I don't know what happened to it, but this is how it unfurled. And if you look on the back, it's totally white on the back. So it might have been some wind damage. It was windy here one day, but we are getting a new leaf. And if you look at this stem, look at all the white. You see all that white? So this next leaf is going to be beautiful, and I'm having really good luck with this plant. So you get a leaf like this, don't worry. And then I have my Monstera albos here, and this one I cut back, and that's the head over here. This was the top cut, and this leaf had some white, and now I'm getting just green, so that's why I cut it off. And this is the latest leaf, and I was hoping that after I made that cut I would see there is a little white here, there's some white here, but so far these new branches, I had 2 nodes, and no white yet, but there is white here. Look, come close, Steve.
Sure, will do.
See all that white? So I'm not going to give up. And then I have, this was a cutting I made, and it's there's white all over the place, white, and I got it climbing up this little branch here, and this is about one of the most fenestrated leaves I have from my elbow right now, and you can see it's got a lot of texture in there and white, and all of that will come out more when it gets darker. And here we got a little spider building a nest here, so yeah. And here's the leaf before it. It's got a lot of white. And then I have this one, and it was getting a lot of rain, and at one point, and isn't this weird? It died off on the green part, not the white part, so that's a little backwards. A lot of white here and here, and that's one of the original leaves when I got this cutting, still there. I was expecting more white, but at least I got this. And now a crazy thing is, with that wind the other day, this latest leaf cracked in half. So it's coming around. Only these little parts right here are supporting the rest of the leaf. But that's okay. We're going to get a new leaf soon, but there's a lot of white. So I'm very happy with this one. So there's my Monstera albos, and here's another cutting I took off, and there's absolutely no white at all. So that's why you gotta cut back, and we'll keep it growing and see what happens. The stem doesn't have any green, so this is almost totally reverted. But it is from these. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay, next we're going to go over to the Paradiso Verde I bought. And would you look at this new leaf? And when I got it, it was 2 green leaves, and that's why nobody was bidding on it. And look at that, was the leaf that was unfurling. Then I got just this one, and this was the new leaf it had, and it did manage to get a lot of color changes here. So this is a genetic trait. It will never revert to a green plant. It's just the light conditions, and it will keep it from getting green. I have this outside under a tree. It gets a lot of light, a lot of moisture, and this is what happens. And take a look at this Violetti, and we're getting some real nice. On my philodendron Billy, we're getting, here's a new leaf over here, and we got more growth coming out on the bottom, and look, this new leaf is going to be big. So I had a setback with this plant when it got cold over the winter, and all of this coming out is new growth, and I just dropped the plant. And these were the leaves that died from the cold, but I left them on there anyway. They're still kicking. And here's a crazy I had a single leaf Kirky elbow Hoya, and the miracle happened. I got new growth, and I'm hoping the same thing happens on this one. So this is a blessing for me right there. And let's go over here and stop it a second. And this is the Philodendron squamiferum, and take a look at these petioles, guys. And they just get fuzzier and fuzzier as the leaf matures. And here's a mature leaf. Let me show you. Look at that fuzz on it. And this was the plant I bought at Lowe's. Only had it a week or two, and I already have 3 cuttings that are rooted from it. So it was a really big plant. It worth every cent of the 50 bucks. And I should be propagating it. I mean, I did propagate. I should be selling some of those cuttings soon. Here is my anthurium. And look at the giant seed pods on it. And they like to be root bound. They don't even need soil. If you look down there, and they're doing great under the tree here. And here's another big one in a bigger pot I have over here, and I call them Anthurium maries, but I've heard them called big red bird. So here's another blossom, but we're getting growth in 2 areas. Here's some, and here's some over here. So I might try to propagate this big one. I've had it for about a year, and it's about triple the size. But I recommend this plant. Look underneath the leaves. Isn't that crazy? Okay. I'll show you some more philodendrons before we go. Here's my epipremium. I have these growing up the trees. And this one's in a little pot. Look at these epipremium pinata albo. Here's a new plant I got, the green emerald. Somebody gave me this branch, and it's finally getting leaves. And I'll show you the red emerald. Right here we have the red emerald, and you can see how big she's getting. Philodendron red emerald, and she's a climber, and it broke off by accident, and I expected these aerial roots to hit this tree very shortly, but even without it started climbing, I got some big leaves on it. And here's another epipremium I have climbing. And would you look at this branch right here? It's reverting backwards. I mean, look at all the white in that branch, and look at this leaf, and it is rooted into the palm tree. You can't move it. See, it's definitely rooted. I started over there, and you can see how small it was. See how small it is? And now it's totally rooted in the palm tree. So we're going to go over a few more philodendrons, and we'll call it done. There's a giant bird of paradise. Looks like it needs watering. And my alocasia fridex are doing great. These global greens, they're everywhere. And this is philodendron Rio. It was growing behind something. I just pulled it out, but they're everywhere. Now look at these. Look at these beautiful plants here. And that's the burl marks, variegated burl marks. I haven't cut back. You see, they try to revert to green. As long as you keep cutting them back, they'll stay like this. This one seems to just like being variegated so far. So that's the variegated burl marks. Now we're going to go over to my Jose Bono. I did this top cutting, and it didn't have much of aerial roots, but now it's adapted and get a new leaf, and the leaf with white on it, it recovered, and we're getting new leaves. And if you look over here, this is a Jose Bono blossoming, and right here is going to be new growth, and here's more new growth. So now I'll have two smaller plants that I could sell and cut back on, and I'll still have there's a third growth right here. I don't know if you could see it. So I can make, once this gets some aerial roots, I'll make one plant here, one plant here. I'll have two smaller plants, and we'll let this one grow. So I'll finally be able to get my money back on my Jose Bono. And here's some Monsteras, and I think we've got the pink princesses going wild. We've got the alocasias albos. My stingray, look at the stingray. It's really doing well. And we'll end it off with there it is, my Crassinivarium. Or is it? No, it's not. A Tabopants. And this is like the Biliade, only it's purple underneath. And this plant it's got aerial roots like crazy, and I might propagate it soon because it's getting big. And while we're talking about a Tabopants, I've got a bunch of these too. And Philadelphian Tabopants, really growing well. And I got some new plants, which I'll do in another video, but this was given to me. That's the this is the Composportium. And I might do an unboxing. There's a couple of plants, new plants I got. There's too much, but basically that's an update. And would you look at my Monstera? And this is the Standeliana. And I put a branch in a pot here, and it's just growing like crazy, guys. Everything is growing like crazy. Would you look at this wall of pothos and neons? And this is the Snow Queen, Grantianum. So everything's growing like crazy, guys. Please subscribe. I'll give you more updates. We got other plants we're going to do. Take care, everybody.